Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And don't forget we're on podcast as well. Go to mark-narrations.com and you can select your favorite podcast there if you choose to do so. Totally up to you though, never any pressure. And let's crack on with today's story. Now, today's story comes from Angry Widow, who says, my 28 female husband, 36 male, passed away. And now his best friend, 33 female, is trying to control his services. I'll try to make this brief. My husband, Jonah, passed away unexpectedly a month ago from a stroke. I don't want to get specific about that part. It's the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life, and I'm still not sure how I'm ever going to move on. We were married for 5 years, together for 7. The past 2 years we've been trying for a baby, but we were just getting to the point of considering IVF when he died. Jonah had a close friend in school named Marjorie. Marjorie also ended up going to the same university as he did, and they spent a lot of time together during those college years. Jonah said that he liked Marjorie's company, but never felt anything beyond friendship with her, which I totally believe. Jonah dated other women during that period, but told me that several times Marjorie hinted that she wanted him to ask her out. She also joked about wanting him to be her plan B in case she didn't meet someone and get married by 30. By the time I'd started dating Jonah, he had moved a couple of hours away from his hometown and Marjorie. Despite this, Marjorie immediately began finding excuses to come to our town and hang out, which usually involved her encouraging us to go drinking and then her passing out on the couch at Jonah's apartment. I didn't mind her for the most part, but she had a habit of saying things like, "You know you ruined our marriage pact, haha," and pointing out all the things that she knew about him, like what he took in his coffee, his favorite bands, etc. Over the course of our relationship, and especially after we got married, Jonah definitely put some distance into his relationship with Marjorie. He confided in me that he felt he had outgrown her and that they really had little in common anymore. He stopped responding to her invitations to hang out as often, though he would occasionally call to catch up out of guilt. Especially when she would text him or leave messages saying she was so sad he was ignoring her and the like. But now, he's gone. I had him cremated like he wanted. We haven't done the memorial service yet. It was too hard for me to even imagine the first couple of weeks, and I also wanted to give time for some out-of-state people to make travel plans. The memorial is this weekend. However, 2 weeks ago, I received an email from Marjorie, sent to around 60 people, including Jonah's family, saying that she was holding a memorial service for Jonah in the town where they grew up, the day before his memorial here. I was completely blown away, seeing as she hadn't mentioned anything to me or even attempted to call. Along with the details, the email said that she was planning the memorial in light of the fact that no other service had yet been held in his memory, and he deserved to be laid to rest with honor. For the record, she was invited to the memorial which I'd been planning and knew it was happening. I called her, of course, and told her that while I appreciated her willingness to help with Jonah's goodbye, I was already planning a service for him that would involve all of his family and friends. She immediately went on the defensive and said that she had only started to plan a service when she realized I wasn't willing to do it in a timely manner. I told her that the timing wasn't her choice to make, but that if she wanted to have a memorial of some kind, to please just add on the invitation that his official memorial was going to be held this weekend. She said fine. I sent a message to all of Jonah's invited friends and family to make sure that they knew the real service with both of our families was going to be here, and then just wanted to wash my hands of the whole thing. This week I received a message on Facebook from Jonah's cousin, saying that Marjorie, who has apparently blocked me on Facebook, created an event for Jonah's official memorial service, her memorial, and invited everyone she possibly could. I've been getting blown up with emails asking which day the memorial is and where. I'm honestly furious. I don't have the emotional energy to deal with this. I ended up putting a post up on my wall, reiterating the date of his service here and asking people to please share it. Thankfully, I think that older members of the family don't use Facebook or email very often, so most of them haven't been confused. But a lot of people now think that Marjorie's service is the real one. I called Marjorie again, asking her to add an addendum to her event saying that his actual memorial was going to be here. She told me that Jonah would have wanted it this way, and that if I couldn't appreciate her efforts, I wasn't invited to say goodbye to Jonah. I told her that was fine, seeing as I'd already said goodbye to Jonah when I held him as he died. She hung up. Apparently she's now spreading information to her mutual friends with Jonah, saying that he was planning on leaving me because I wasn't able to conceive. She also said that we had approached her to carry a baby for us. All absolute lies. His cousin sent me a screenshot of a text where she said that Jonah always thought we would have the cutest baby together, and that OP doesn't understand how much he wants children. I'm at a loss as what to do. I don't care what she says about me, but she's now tarnishing my husband's memory, especially saying that he wanted to divorce. Jonah would never have left me, and anyone that knows him at all knows that we were committed to each other above all else. I need to figure out how to tell this woman to fuck off without encouraging her to spread more lies. I also want to just forget the whole thing and crawl into bed and never get up again. Help me, please. Now to me in this one, and I know it's incredibly hard because OP's already dealing with so much already, and I'm not clued up on arranging memorial services or anything like that, but it felt just so out of line. That very first email that you received from Marjorie, sent to around 60 people, including Jonah's family, saying she was holding a memorial service. OP wasn't even informed of this and was already invited to his real memorial service and knew about it as well, so she'd done this on purpose. So forget what I said about knowing the ins and outs of arranging a memorial service. What she did was wrong. She knew it was wrong. It's absolutely disgusting behavior, and then goes on to spread lies, etc. like this. And I really know it's not beneficial for OP to create extra drama on this, but the way it just feels to me, I'd want everyone to know exactly what she's up to, because that's just so bloody disrespectful. I'm fuming for her. Already so much going on in her life, dealing with the grief of things as well. I really just wonder if there's some family members that may be able to step in and help out OP, maybe deal with this person at the same time, and dealing with all the people around at the social, maybe take over the emails at the same time and explain to everyone exactly what's going on so OP can have a little bit of respite. I'm incredibly sorry for your loss, OP. Please look after yourself in terms of grieving, and like I always say in loads of stories when we cover grief, grieve the way that you need to as long as it's safe and healthy, and try to get your family involved so they can deal with this Marjorie person. Sounds like an absolute nightmare. Off the Point says, first off, sorry for your loss. You seriously need to tell this girl to go fuck herself. Say in no uncertain terms that you are his wife, you are his family, and her actions are disgusting. Call all your family and friends and let them know that you, his widow, will be conducting this memorial service. She is out of her mind if she thinks that anyone will believe her story about him leaving you. He had a zillion opportunities to have that girl and turned down all of them and married you. She sounds mentally unstable, seriously so. I would hire an attorney and threaten to sue her for libel. If someone did this to me, I can't even tell you what I would do. She'd be sorry she ever opened her mouth. Painted Lady says, I'm so sorry for your loss. This is truly tragic. I would think that most people would understand that the memorial is where the wife says it is and where the remains will be buried. Contact the hometown newspaper and do an obituary with the correct information. Don't fool with this meddling woman again. If half the people show up, so what? The memorial is for you and his family, to help you let go. Again, I'm sorry for what you are going through. TPA Hornet says, I'm sorry for your loss also. I went through an unexpected loss of my wife February 2014, and it is something that just puts you in an unexpected state of mind. You have to stay strong and keep in mind that she is not the one with this responsibility, and also share this with family and have them handle this insensitive bitch. You have your plate full, as I know, and this distraction isn't wanted or needed at this time. You can have family members assist you in keeping her in line. I would lean on them to put her in her place. For me, a year has passed by. I have an amazing lady in my life that is supporting and loving, who has shown me true happiness that I was longing for. It does get better. Life does go on and the sun rises every day. Keep your head on straight. Make to-do lists. Plan your future where you need to be in the year ahead. Best of luck, and I hope you know that there is someone out there when you are ready to share the love in your heart with. Keep your head up and keep putting one foot in front of the other. And one more from Tiny Dog Mafia, who says, first, I'm so terribly sorry for your loss. I do not have the right words to express how sorry I am. Second, I became enraged reading this. I don't know if you have anyone who can help you stand up to this woman, but if you are in Florida and need some help this weekend, it's my weekend off and I'd be more than happy to stand guard at your memorial service to make sure this wacko cannot enter. Or even if you need someone to handle other things in regards to her. I have a very mean nurse bitch face I can put on at a moment's notice. I can handle crazy. PM me if I can assist you. I know I'm an internet stranger, but I'm so angry and upset for you. You do not need this on top of everything else. If this escalates, you need to seek legal guidance. Try not to respond to any of the crazy she's spewing. Let her make herself look crazy. She doesn't need much help, I promise you that. You keep your head held high. Redirect anyone asking for which memorial to go to your own, and if you need help with that, please don't hesitate to ask. You are a strong, brave woman. You can do this. Do not let her affect you. She's nuts. You are his wife. Everyone knows that. The more crazy she talks, the more crazy she looks. Hugs to you. So then OP came in with an update which says, I apologize for not updating sooner, but a lot has happened in the last couple of days. Thank you to everyone who offered help and advice. For those that offered monetary assistance, Jonah and I were in a stable position financially. I'm going to be comfortable until I decide to go back to work. Your willingness to help was deeply appreciated, however, and I'm truly bowled over by your kindness. I took the advice of the majority of comments and called a chapel where Marjorie was planning her service. I spoke with a pastor who immediately told me that he had been trying to get in touch with me regarding the service. Apparently both Jonah and Marjorie had grown up in that church. I'm not religious and neither was Jonah as an adult. My voicemail has been flooded, so it's definitely plausible that I overlooked his call. He immediately expressed how sorry he was to hear of Jonah's loss and said that he had received my contact info from Jonah's great aunt who still attends there. He said he was surprised when Marjorie asked to have a service for Jonah, but she had claimed that Jonah and I were separated and I didn't want to be involved. He had been trying to follow up with me, but obviously that didn't happen. He was very apologetic and said that we could cancel the service or move forward in any way that felt right to me. He said that he knew the church members would appreciate the service since many of them remember Jonah as a boy, but obviously Marjorie would no longer have a role. I agreed that the service could go forward. He called to speak with Marjorie after our conversation and informed her that she was no longer welcome to participate in the organisation of the service after her behaviour. He wouldn't tell me all that she said, but she was distraught, and he recommended some mental health/spiritual services to her that he hoped she accepts. She apparently apologised for lying and asked to speak with me, but I declined. I feel bad if she's truly contrite, but I just have too much on my plate right now. We have 2 beautiful services for my husband. First the one at his hometown church and then the non-religious one that I planned. Everyone that came wanted to honour Jonah, and that's all that really matters. I was told a dozen stories about him that I'd never heard before, and I laughed so hard I cried, then I cried some more. My cousin was on the lookout for Marjorie and I honestly didn't think about her the whole weekend. She turned up for the first service and the pastor ended up speaking with her unbeknownst to me. My cousin says he was sympathetic but firm and told her that her presence there would be inappropriate. Surprisingly, she left without fuss. I'm still not sure this situation is entirely resolved, but I got to lay my husband to rest in the way he deserved, and that's the most important thing to me right now. Thanks everyone for your support. Update 2. I debated whether or not to even mention this, but this community has been so awesome I thought I might as well. I realised this weekend that I'd missed my period, and I'm usually like clockwork. It could just be stress, but I'm going to take a test later. Can't decide if I'm incredibly hopeful or absolutely terrified. Update 3. Not pregnant, it was a long shot. Thanks for your support. And then there's a further update as well. So OP comes back and says, I'm not sure if anyone will remember this post, but I thought I would update since it's been a few months. I haven't been checking my inbox and I'm sort of amazed I remembered the password at all. But I appreciate all of you who sent encouraging messages. It means a great deal to me. It's been around 5 months since Jonah died, and honestly it still feels like I'm waking up and living the same day over and over again. I'm in therapy, but the feeling of grief has not subsided whatsoever. Everything reminds me of Jonah, and I still feel like half of me is gone. I'm considering moving out of the country, or at least to a different state, but I also feel like a piece of Jonah is here in the house where we lived. Even worse, Marjorie has still not disappeared. I deleted my social media a couple of months ago in an attempt to simplify my life. But my cousin, who also knows Marjorie, let me know that she has been recently posting photos of herself on Facebook with Jonah. Some were from several years ago, but she was saying things like, "I still miss my man every day and I can't wait until Jonah's baby arrives." She's apparently pregnant and claiming that the baby is my husband's. She has also photoshopped his face onto several photos, some on another shirtless male posing semi-suggestively with her. The photoshopping is pretty good, but it's obviously not my husband's body. People have been saying things like, "Congratulations, we know you'll be a great mother to Jonah's child." Nobody I knew, thankfully. It honestly made me feel sick, and I went and laid in bed pretty much all day. I hate that she is getting to me like this, but I can't stand the thought that she's claiming my husband was unfaithful to me, and that people are believing it. One bright note is Marjorie's brother, who also knew Jonah. On one of her recent posts, he commented, "What the fuck, Marjorie? I spoke to Jonah like 2 weeks before he died, and he said he was trying for a baby with Kelly. You guys are just friends. This is fucked up and you know it." The post was deleted a couple of hours later. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't have the energy to battle this woman, but I'm infuriated and hurt by this blatantly disrespectful pack of lies that she's spreading. My cousin called her and asked that she removes the photos, but she apparently said that OP can go to hell. She just doesn't want to accept that Jonah wanted a baby with me more and she couldn't give him one. I'm lost, guys. What can I do about this? It seems like all I can do is sit and watch this crazy woman try to convince Jonah's friends and family that he never loved me. Update, I just spoke with Marjorie's brother, who called to tell me that Marjorie is not pregnant, but seems to truly believe that she is. He asked her how far along she is and she said 5 months, but she is still completely flat. He isn't sure if she's lying or she actually believes she's having a child with my husband. He asked her when they conceived and she mentioned the date that he knew we had been on vacation. Which brings us to OP's final update and says, "A lot has happened since my last update. Hopefully this will be the end of the story. Marjorie's brother became very concerned after speaking to me and apparently questioned Marjorie extensively about her behavior. She continued to claim that she was pregnant with Jonah's baby and that they had a lengthy affair, but the details didn't add up. The brother knew Jonah pretty well and was generally aware of his work schedule, etc. She said they were meeting at a hotel at lunchtime 3 days a week, but he knew that Jonah came home for lunch with me every day, stuff like that. He went home late that night to sleep on it. After he went home, Marjorie came over to see me at 3 a.m. She started screaming at me to come outside, saying that I had ruined her relationship with Jonah and how happy they were before me, etc, etc. I called the police and her brother, who arrived around the same time. She pushed the police officer, who tried to ask what was going on, and was immediately arrested. I felt bad for her brother, but he just apologized to me repeatedly. Marjorie yelled expletives and tried to demand special treatment because the police were apparently hurting her baby by keeping her in the car. I gave a statement and they left. Not exactly sure what happened after, but her brother says she is now under psychiatric evaluation and is apparently struggling with a mental disorder that he wouldn't name. She has apparently not taken her meds in 2 years. I didn't ask for details, but it seems she is going to get some help. I'm not pressing any sort of charges. Her brother also linked me to his post on social media, where he made it very clear that Marjorie has been having some difficulties and absolutely none of what she said about Jonah is true. I'm glad to see this is over, but I've decided I need a fresh start no matter what. I'm looking for a job out of state and I'll be doing my best to leave my life with Jonah behind. Thank you all for your help and encouragement." And what an absolute wild ride that one turned out to be. I didn't know what was going to happen next, to be quite honest. And whilst I'm not excusing, Marjorie's actions in the slightest put OP through absolute hell, I am glad that she's getting the help that she very, very clearly needs at the moment. But I'm also happy for OP that a line has been drawn now from this, that there is some kind of conclusion to it all, and hopefully OP can move on with her life in a much more positive fashion now, not having to worry about what's going on in the background, what Marjorie is up to, spreading lies, possibly damaging OP's and Jonah's name at the same time. And that OP said themselves that they decided that they need a fresh start no matter what, and they're looking for a job out of state, and hopefully that fresh start is something real positive for them. I really do wish them the best. But what do you guys make of this one? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How would you have handled that situation? Let me know. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's story. Now, if you do listen to Reddit stories, we do have a podcast as well, which you can get yourself involved in if you choose to, mark-narrations.com. And if you go onto there, it will show you every single place where the podcast is being hosted, and you can pick your favorite and subscribe there. Only if you want to, and if you prefer YouTube, it's not going anywhere either, so feel free to stick around for that. And once again, thank you for your love, time, and support. It really does mean the world, and you change things every single day, and I'll never get enough of you, so don't leave me. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today